Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to compare these two PRS SE guitars. One is the 594, you can see is the signal cut model, and the other is the DGT, the David Grissom model. And the reason I wanted to compare these is the last time I did a kind of a broad comparison of the SE line, I didn't have the 594 on hand. And so I thought it would be interesting to compare these two guitars because I think the pickups are pretty similar. Obviously the DGT have a little more power to them, but I wanted to see kind of what was the difference because I think very much of this to be kind of like the 594. So let's go ahead and kind of plug them in and start off hearing how they sound, and then we'll talk about some of the specs. So let's get into the specifications of the guitars. So they're pretty similar in construction. They're both mahogany bodies with maple tops. You got mahogany necks with rosewood fretboards, and they're both set necks. Obviously, they are different scale lengths. So the DGT is your typical 25-inch PRS scale length. The 594 is the shorter. I think it's 27.594, hence the name. And so you get a little bit of a shorter scale length with this, and you've got the binding on the fretboard. The tuners on each are non-locking. The DGT has kind of your standard, more modern tuners, whereas the 594 is kind of a vintage style. The nuts are the same, the frets are the same. The neck shapes are very different. The 594 is a very big chunky neck. Think 50s Les Paul, where the DGT is its own shape. It's still pretty beefy. It has pretty broad shoulders, so to speak. It's not quite as kind of a big round C shape as you get from the 594. So if you like a big chunky neck, the 594 is going to give you more of that than the DGT will. But the DGT neck is not small by any stretch of the imagination. If we look at the guitar's controls, the DGT is kind of more your typical layout in terms of where the pickup selector switch is, and you get 2 volumes and 1 tone. So it is a little bit different than the 594 in that the bridge volume is here by the pickups, where the neck volume is down here lower. I think David Grissom wanted that way because if he's doing volume swells, he's more likely to be doing on the bridge pickup and he gets easier access to it. And then you've got a single tone here that's a push-pull, so you can split both pickups together by pulling that out. And you get the kind of the standard SE tremolo bridge here on the DGT. For the 594, you get a hardtail, kind of more Gibson style, and you get the Gibson style control. So you get 2 volumes, neck, bridge, and 2 tones. And each tone control is a push-pull, so you can split the pickups separately. So that is one advantage to the 594. Because you get 2 tone controls, you can split the pickups individually. And you also get the pickup selector in a more kind of Gibson Les Paul spot up here, closer to your body. I prefer this. I'm not a big fan of the standard PRS kind of positioning for it. I like either a Gibson style or a Fender down here. Having to reach down here on the DGT is not my favorite thing. So let's go ahead and plug the guitars back in and go through all the specific sound samples of the pickup so we can compare them back. So for all the tones you're hearing today, I'm playing through my Neural DSP Quad Cortex. I've got a preset that is a mix of Mesa Boogie and Lone Star for some clean and low gain stuff. And then I have a Friedman amp for some of the higher gain tones. So let's start on the clean stuff, which again is a Mesa Boogie. So let's start on the clean stuff. And I'm going to start with the 594. I'm on the neck pickup and I'm in humbucking mode. And let's hear how it sounds. So a nice kind of punchy, a good amount of treble on it, kind of top end. So kind of a nice clean humbucker tone. If we split it, now we come to one of my least favorite things about the 5815 pickups. When you tap them, you're kind of getting a somewhat anemic single coil tone in my opinion. So not my favorite. I think the DGT, when we hear it, it's going to split better. And now we're on the DGT, again we're on the neck, and I got the same clean tone. So you can hear right away, the DGT pickup has more output. It's pushing the amp a little more. You're starting to get some breakup from this clean tone. If I split the neck tone, I think this sounds better tapped than the 5815s. So I definitely like the tap tones from the DGT pickups better than the 5815s. So now let's go into the middle positions, and I've got both pickups back into humbucking mode. And if I split it, there's interesting combinations on the 594. I can split just the neck. To get a nice kind of spanky. And if I split just the bridge, and then if I split both together, so you've got a pretty wide array of tones that you can get from that. Go to the middle, and I'm in humbucker mode. And if I go to the tap sound, again, this is both pickups tapped because I can only do them together. All right, now let's switch to the bridge pickup, and I'm in humbucking mode, and it sounds like this. And if I split it, again, on its own, it's a little anemic. I think these pickups, if you're gonna split them, or actually you're tapping them, you would do best to keep it in a middle position. And then on the bridge, again, you can hear that bridge pickup has a good amount more output, and it's pushing the amp more. And even with this kind of clean tone, it's got a good amount of crunch to it now. I think it's also got more warmth than you get from the 5815s. If I tap it, again, better single coil tone than you get from the 5815s. So let's go ahead and add in a little more gain. This is still coming from the Lone Star, but this is kind of more of that kind of the lower gain lead you heard in the earlier playing. And if we go to single coil, when you add in more gain, the single coil starts to kind of fill out a little bit. If we go to the middle, and I'm back in humbucker mode, and again, you can tap them. You can tap the pickups, whatever combination you want. And if I go to the bridge, so these 5815s, I think with the low wind, have a little more top end to them, a little more clarity. And I think when you push them with gain, you get a nice kind of, a lot of definition in the notes. So again, when you add more gain, the pickups, when they're tapped, kind of fill out a little bit. All right, so it's a low gain tone up on the neck pickup here, and we're in humbucker mode. So you can hear it's definitely giving a little more push to the amp. I think one thing I've noticed is the neck pickup on this is a little bit hotter than it is on the 5815, but the bridge pickup is a lot hotter than it is. So if we go to the middle on the DGT, we split. So again, a much better tone in my opinion. And then the bridge. So a good amount more warmth than you get from the 5815s. Let's go ahead and switch to kind of higher gain rhythm. And for these, we're using the Freeman. And I'm on the bridge. We go to the neck. And in the middle. And again, you can always add in some of the single coil sounds. So this is the bridge single coil. So I think these pickups do really well when you kind of give them more gain. All right, and then we do the rhythm tone on the DGT. So this bridge is really pushing that amp more. It's really filling it in, giving a really nice kind of full sound. If we go to the neck, I do think this neck, when you give it that much gain, it tends to get a little looser. We split it. And then in the middle. Let's go ahead and go to lead tone now. And this was the lead tone I was using in the playing earlier. And so what we're doing is I've added in a Klon style drive pedal in front of the amp. So we're kind of pushing the mids a little bit and stacking some gain. On the neck as well. So even on the neck, the lower strings have a good amount of clarity to them. Again, I think that's the low whine nature of the pickups. If we go to single coil modes, and then the lead tone on the DGT. So again, you're getting more of a push from this and more warmth to it, I think. If we go to the neck, you're getting the same kind of thing. More push, more warmth out of it. If we tap the pickups, it's got enough output that you're really not noticing much. And here, when I switch back and forth between the tap tone, you can hear a difference, but it's really subtle. You're maybe getting a little more volume, but with that much gain, you're not hearing much difference in these pickups. I think the 5815s, although they sound kind of anemic when they're clean, when they've got enough gain, you get a little more character, I think, from the tapped tones. So overall, I'd say I get tired of talking about how good the SE lineup is, but both these guitars are great. I think it comes down to really two things. The neck profile and scale length, so comfortable size-wise, what do you want it to be? And then the pickups. The DGT pickups really are something special, and they're super versatile. They go from clean all the way up to can really kind of push the front of an amp with that bridge pickup. The 5815s that are in the 594 are definitely lower output. I like them as a clean humbucker because they are so low output and they don't push the amp as much as the DGT does, but that makes the split tones or the single coil sounds a little anemic, especially on clean tones. So I think this guitar does great in terms of its humbucker tones, but if you're looking for some of those kind of single coil type sounds, I don't think you're going to get it from this. You're going to do better with this guitar. And of course, the DGT also offers the tremolo bridge, so you can use a whammy bar if you want to. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. I hope you found this comparison helpful. And as always, thanks for watching.